Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Deer Season Daily. It is November 7th, also known as Bill Winke Day. If you guys followed Midwest Whitetail for years, you know that the host was Bill Winke, and his favorite day historically was November 7th. And I think that probably goes for a lot of people. So, on this November 7th, we're going to talk about a couple hunts that we got coming up. We're going to talk about the weather and movement for not only today, but the weekend as well. And then the tip of the day, again, rut related, because why not stick with it? It is November after all. Before we get into that, you guys know, if you've been listening to these, our sponsor for the Deer Season Daily is Rack's Big Game Supplements. You can go to racksmineral.com and check out everything that they have to offer. Our website is ridgehunteroutdoors.com. You find anything on there that you like our scent, for example, that's made fresh every week right from the deer. It's 100% natural stuff. It works this time of year. I personally use it not only to start mock scrapes throughout the year, but also to spray out in front of the stand and give the deer a place to stop instead of having to stop them. When they come by and they smell that, I mean, it's like a magnet when I remember to put it out. So you guys can check that out and use the discount code RHOPOD. That's all caps, no space, and you get 10% off your order of anything on the entire website. If you guys are on YouTube, subscribe, leave us a comment, like, all that kind of stuff. If you're on audio only, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or somewhere else, make sure you follow and leave us a review. That helps us out also. The RHO update. So Dawson's pre-rut hunt will be out today. It was from October 22nd. So not exactly keeping with our semi-live theme, but it was just a few weeks ago. I finally got everything lined up like I wanted it to on some of that video. Some of it's a little fuzzy still, but I think overall it's going to turn out pretty good for you guys. Hopefully you'll like it. But I got that put together, and it should be out today. I don't know if I just said tomorrow or not, but it's going to be out today. It will be, I don't know when it'll be posted for sure, but make sure you stay tuned for that and hit the subscribe button so you know when it does come out. The next two videos after that will be my hunt from the cabin that I talked about, coming out either yesterday or today, and then Blake's Goofy Buck video. The reason I decided to put Dawson's video out first instead of that cabin hunt was because it happened like 2 or 3 weeks ago, whatever that is, the 22nd of October. And I finally got the time to put it together like I wanted. So I wanted to get that one out there, and then the next two will be closer to semi-live. They'll be way more recent. Also, with the YouTube stuff, we are going to do a 10K giveaway. I think I mentioned that on one of the recent episodes. I just haven't decided what we're going to do yet. I want it to be something good. And then once I do, I'll have to get it posted and everything. And it'll probably be a deal where you have to either be subscribed or you have to subscribe to get in on it, or maybe follow us on Instagram or something. Which, if you guys are subscribed or you're listening to this and you don't follow us on Instagram, go over to Ridgehunteroutdoors on Instagram and give us a follow there. It's the same on Facebook. We'd appreciate that. But we are going to do a giveaway coming up soon. And if you follow our socials, it'll be posted there when that comes out. I'll try to post it on YouTube as well. And of course, I will update you guys on the Deer Season Daily, whatever day we decide to do that. So talking shop, I got nothing really today. Check back Monday. I think Sunday is going to be an awesome day, and Monday as well. So Monday and Tuesdays, talking shop will probably be pretty good. We didn't really have a lot come in the shop today. It was pretty warm. Wasn't a ton of movement from what I heard. Where I was at hunting, there wasn't a ton of movement. So cameras were pretty still. It was just warm and southwest wind. It looks like today is going to be a lot similar, which takes us right to the weather and movement predictions. I got nothing for what's new today either. But the weather and movement, low of 58. It's supposed to be, the temperature is supposed to be going up all night, which is not awesome. And it's supposed to be 58 at sunrise. And then the high today, again, is like 70 degrees. So not great temperature-wise. It's going to be cloudy in the morning, but it is supposed to be sunny by the afternoon, so it's probably going to be pretty warm for that afternoon hunt. Again, southwest wind, 10 to 12 miles an hour in the morning. It actually is supposed to lay by dark and switch to pretty much straight west. So they're giving like 3 to 5 mile an hour by dark and coming out of the west. The pressure is going to be low today, right around 29.7 all day. It's going to fluctuate just a little bit, but it's going to be around 29.7. Not a lot of promising conditions for deer movement, rut or otherwise. Like I said, it's traditionally a pretty good day, though. I mean, Bill Winke likes it. That's good enough for me. That guy's killed a ton of big deer over the years, so if he says a day's good, then it's probably pretty good. However, it would be better if it was a cold front hitting. And that's kind of the name of the game, especially for deer movement, even during the rut. It's probably going to take a hot doe to get them moving good today, though. I mean, maybe you're in an area where you're just catching them coming back to bed and a buck happens to be cruising by and checking those does, but I would say in order to see a bunch of buck movement today, you're going to have a hot doe come through. The conditions don't look awesome tomorrow either. The movement might be okay in the morning because it is supposed to be cooler, down to like 40 degrees or maybe high 30s even. But then it's supposed to warm up again in the afternoon, low pressure, and they're giving a decent chance of rain tomorrow as well, so it could be slower as the day goes on, and the afternoon might not be awesome. Again, probably going to take a hot doe. However, a cold front is supposed to be coming through Saturday night, Sunday morning, and then like into Sunday. It's supposed to get pretty windy out of the northwest on Sunday, and it's supposed to be cold. They're giving lows in the 20s for Sunday and Monday, highs in the 40s, I believe. So we're getting that 35, 45 type of day that I've talked about before, that I talked about with Steve Shirk on that episode. Sunday and Monday are both those days. Cold front moving through. It's November 9th and 10th. My favorite day, I'm no Bill Winke, but my favorite day is usually Veterans Day, November 11th, or in and around that. So 9th to 13th. You can stretch a little bit either side of that, really. So this is going to be like a perfect timed cold front for us down here in southern Illinois. I think the movement's going to be really good on Sunday. It's going to be cold and it's going to be windy, but if possible at all, get out there on Sunday and get in a stand. If you got to get in a blind, get in a blind. If you got to bundle up extra, do it. But I think you're going to want to be out there Sunday. If not, you're probably going to see some deer on your cameras that you wish you would have seen in person. This is setting up to be Sunday, Monday, setting up to be the best couple of days of the season. I know I said that, I think maybe about last weekend, and so far I think they probably were. But now that we're hitting the best days of the year, along with some really good weather, that could be a deadly combination. I expect a lot of deer to die, a lot of big deer to hit the ground Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, right there in that time frame. Hopefully, again, you guys can get in on that success and put one of your bucks down. So we'll wrap this up with the tip of the day as always, and it's pretty simple. If you aren't seeing deer, move. Like I said, that sounds pretty simple. It seems pretty obvious, but there are times where you should stick with a spot. So early season, if you're on green food source and you're not seeing deer for a couple evenings, probably a good bet that eventually they're going to show up there. You might want to stick with it. Late season, if you're on a food source and you got cold weather, you're not seeing the deer movement you think you ought to be, probably okay to stick with that until you do, because eventually they're going to hit that food source. However, the rut is not one of those times. During the rut, you have to be where the deer are to have good hunts. You got to go to those doe bedding areas and feeding areas, and if you go to one and there's not a lot of movement, not a lot of deer, mark that one off the list for now. Go to a different one. Bounce around until you find a spot that has good movement, and that's where you're going to find the bucks. That's where you're going to find the best chance at a mature buck coming through, is where there are more deer. So if you got pictures of like 4 or 5 or 6 does on a food plotter coming out of a bedding area every night, and you're sitting in a spot where you're seeing 1 or 2, go to that other spot, because that's going to be where the bucks are at. If you go to one of those spots and it's really good for a couple days, but then it gets just dead and still and quiet and slow and there's nothing around, move to the next spot. You got to be able to move around. And I know not everybody has the ability to do that with spots, kind of limited on where they can go to hunt. And in those situations, obviously, you just kind of got to stick with it and hope that movement picks up where you're at. But if you are in a situation where you have some different places to go, whether it's different farms or just different spots on the same farm, then absolutely bounce around until you find that spot that's good, that has deer around it consistently, and then stick with it until it doesn't, or until you shoot the deer you're in there after. That is the tip of the day. Again, seems obvious, but during the rut, it's as important as any other time to go find the deer, go hunt the deer. If you're not seeing them, move to a different spot. Appreciate you guys tuning in this week for more deer season dailies. The numbers on these have been doing pretty good. I've been encouraged by that, so I'm going to stick with them, keep doing them at least through gun season, if not through Thanksgiving week. Maybe just all the way through November, but for sure through the first 3 weeks of November. And then we'll see what happens after that. I'm going to be pretty run down after gun weekend, so I don't know if I'll be up for doing one of these every day after that week. And we'll be getting into kind of, the same old once we hit December anyway. So I am going to keep doing these for a little while, and hopefully you guys will keep tuning in. I do appreciate it. I appreciate you tuning in for all the stuff that we do. Make sure you check out Dawson's hunt video later when it comes out today. And I will try to get a full draw Friday out later today as well. I don't know if Austin's going to be able to record. I'm going to have to text him later today and figure that out. But there will be a full draw Friday of some sort, whether it's out later today or tomorrow. You can check that out as well. I will see you guys the next time I'm on here and you see me. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you then.